Kpopcast, the live stream. Let's just double check that we are live streaming. Are you guys seeing us on the Twitters and all the different things right now? Like, and if you're
I
watching,
see us on Twitch.
can you say that you see us? Can you let us know that you're out there? Please say something if you're live. Universe, K-pop community.
Oh, crickets.
Is it streaming?
Only on Twitch so far.
I don't
Why?
see it
Is something wrong?
It should be
I
on
don't
the
see it
other
on YouTube.
platforms. Yeah.
Oh,
It's not on YouTube yet that I can see.
It is. It says it's sending data.
Wah, wah. I forgot.
I see YouTube.
Oh, you
see
do?
YouTube?
Yep.
Okay, and are we on Twitter? Because that's the main one for at least for our accounts here.
Okay, I see YouTube too. And then
I don't see
I have yet to see Twitter yet.
Come on, Periscope, what's the deal?
Get it together.
It's busy doing its job, censoring Trump.
Ha 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 ha. Ba-dum-tsh.
Okay, how about this?
Oh, sorry.
Michaela, could you just tweet a link to our Twitch or something and say, like, catch the live stream here? Okay, all right.
Ah, there we are. I see us on YouTube now.
I don't know why Periscope is not working across the two platforms. Okay. Mikhail, let me know once you've done that. Should we wait for Michaela to finish that before we dive into our conversation?
Sure. I mean, people coming in?
I think we've got one watcher, which might be one of us.
Well, I'm definitely watching, so on YouTube. So.
All right.
Okay, I just tweeted out the Twitch link.
Yeah, it says it's like for some reason it says error on our Periscope.
Oh.
This
Is
broadcast
it?
ended. I don't know what's going on with Periscope. Okay. Well, anyway, let's continue then. So, oh my gosh, and I just closed the wrong window.
We'll get it right one day.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get it right. Okay, I've got everything set up. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so
Yeah.
hello everyone. Welcome to the Kpopcast. This is an episode where we are here to discuss August D2. And joining us, we've got Virginia and our Mandarin Mama. And before we actually dive into the meat of our Daebak or Not episode,
Wait, who else do we have?
Oh, right.
we have everyone else on the Kpopcast team. So we've
Oh my
got
goodness.
Stephanie, Michaela, and myself, Peter Lowe.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Sorry, this is the
Thanks.
Here, too much Maker's Mark.
yeah.
That's right.
So anyway, this is not gonna. I guess we're gonna include.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I should be speaking into the microphone then.
Yeah, we're doing this part
For the
as part of the
podcast.
episode.
Okay. Maybe like let's start all over again. Hello everyone. This is raw, like live, unfiltered. This is the Kpopcast, and during this time, there are a lot of changes, and I think things that we need to acknowledge and talk about, even if it is not directly related to K-pop. And before we dive into this episode, discussing Suga's D2 or August D2, we thought we'd have a conversation on what's happening in national news right now. So joining us for this episode of the Kpopcast, we've got a few special guests to join us. We're welcoming on Mandarin Mama, or Virginia. And how would you like to be introduced, Virginia?
Virginia Dwan.
Virginia Dwan. And we also have Michaela PD Nim.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And Stephanie.
As she skirts in on the car for all of y'all in the stream. That was perfect.
On that Hyundai.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, I think I'll actually hand the floor over to you to carry on the conversation.
Sure. Hey everyone. Want to keep this brief, but something that's been on my mind, on the Black community's mind in particular, and all of our, the global community really is the recent uptick, it seems, in anti-Black violence, racist violence taking place in the US. And I also just heard of an incident in London recently. And just wanted to make space for our community, for Kpopcast listeners to acknowledge that K-pop and fandoms and our faves and all of that, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. We are all humans living in this world, and a lot of us are going through a really hard time right now. For me personally, I had a super rough day and was really looking forward to jumping onto the Kpopcast to talk about the new album, and it kind of serves as a distraction for me. But at the same time, I like to say yes, and it can be a really fun distraction or something to escape with, but K-pop and the people involved don't exist in a vacuum. So I think it's important that since we have a platform, we take a moment to acknowledge that a lot of us are hurting right now due to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's important as Asian Americans, especially to stand with and support Black Lives Matter, because until all of us are free, none of us are free. And I've been sobbing on and off for the last week, because it's just so awful. And I think it's also actually important to talk about within K-pop itself, because K-pop would not exist without Black people. It would not exist without Black contributions to music, without R&B, without hip hop, and it's just it would. The things that we love about K-pop, the things that we love about hip hop would not exist without Black people, and that is not actually the reason to like and support Black Lives Matter. But what I mean is like Stephanie said, it does not exist in a vacuum, and Black Lives Matter because it's the right thing, right? Black people are people, So I'm totally bungling this, but
that's okay.
No, this is great.
Yeah.
But So in case you can't tell, on all my channels, I've been blasting out Black Lives Matter because I feel like the Asian American community has not really shown up for the Black community. Whereas when all the anti-Asian sentiment started happening due to the coronavirus, and it flares up every so often. I feel like all my Black friends in the Black community showed up for the Asian Americans.
Yeah.
And I felt shame that whenever the constant anti-Blackness of America has shown up, that it was so rare to see Asian Americans speak out against it.
Yeah, I will say I was on a chat in a webinar with the Asian American Journalists Association this morning, and we were discussing just this issue. Hey man, fellow people of color, you gotta show up, gotta show face here, and it's very much a part of the Asian American responsibility to talk about these stories because it certainly affects us all. So. I would also like to praise the K-pop community for joining in solidarity for the Black Lives Matters movement. We've seen armies accounts say like, hold on, we're not going to put this stuff up. We're not going to use these hashtags so that we don't trend like we always do, so that we can allow important conversations to take the main stage. And we are seeing that from Blinks. We're seeing that from Stays. I mean, name your fandom. They're all leaning back very deliberately, and that, like, I have to applaud the K-pop community for expressing some intellectual maturity, growth, and responsibility for once, and transcending the cult-like zealous fandoms that many of them often have. So, and before we move on, Michaela, did you have other thoughts?
I can just say I agree with everything you guys have said. I don't think there's really more I can add other than thank you to the K-pop community for showing out and supporting.
Yeah. Okay, so changing gears. Intro segment for Suga. Welcome to the Kpopcast. I am DJ Peter Lowe, and I'm joined by Stephanie
in the house.
And welcoming back resident Suga Stan. It's Virginia Dwan.
Hi.
And Michaela, you're not in this outline. Where did you go?
I'm here. Hello, everybody.
And welcome, PD Nim, Michaela.
Hello, everybody.
Today we'll be talking about Suga. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, I know we say it 1,000 times in the song, but I need you to say it.
Dashita, dashita, dashita.
Yeah.
If it's easier to say in Chinese, you can say da chui da.
Ooh,
I like both
that.
versions.
Da,
Yeah.
chui da.
Although I have this problem because I'm learning Korean. Like, you mishear Korean words as other Korean words.
No,
So
yeah.
I hear twejita, which is like a completely different thing because tweji means like pig. So,
Well, it is big. It is big.
bulgogi.
so if a Korean person were to walk on me singing the song, they'd be hearing me just like singing "Ride the Pig" the whole time.
Oh, ride the pig.
Ride the pig.
Well,
All right.
Twejita, twejita.
that might be a different podcast.
All right, so we'll be letting you know if this song is Taebok or not, and sharing our hit replays from the mixtape. And it looks like I totally misread the outline earlier, so I'm sorry, guys, for reordering these things.
No worries.
Replay segment, audio clip plays. Hit replays are songs we recommend that y'all listen to on replay for the week. So, Stephanie, what's your replay off of this mixtape?
Oh, there's so much to love about this mixtape, but when it comes down to it, I am in love with track number 1. That is Moonlight, or Ta Da.
Yes.
And this is like everything I like about Korean R&B. Reminds me of the back in the day producers like Primary that use a lot of jazzy full instruments, trumpet, understated bass guitar, little tambourine shimmering in the background. You can just relax with a cool drink and listen to this song. And it has a really nice introspective message as well. The main line in the chorus says, a lot has changed over the course of Suga's life, but the same moonlight that shines on me at dawn, it's still the same as it was back then. It's the same moonlight then and now.
So poetic.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my hit replay until you picked it, Stephanie. So great job. I loved it just because, like, man, the groove, the beat.
Yeah.
It's my favorite, second favorite song off this mixtape.
10 out of 10 would recommend for extracurricular activities. I can vouch that it is excellent.
Hey. All right, Virginia, what's your
Oh,
pick?
right. Always bring it to the thirst.
I love it. That's why we bring you on.
It's so shameless. All right, so
Yeah.
my favorite, it was a toss-up between Sarang, People, and What Do You Think? But I think, because, What Do You Think has just so much swag. And
Swag.
But I think ultimately it's People because it's it's very comforting, and I find that Suga sings on it. He wasn't actually supposed to. He was supposed to have a feature, but the feature fell through, and so he decided to just use his guiding track instead. And Adora's like background ad-libs and vocals are just amazing. But I think what I love about it is he's reflecting about what kind of person he is. And he's just talking about him as a person. Is he a good person? Is he a bad person? And then how just everything he said his favorite line in the song is when he talks about he thinks his mission in life is just to adjust to change. I'm butchering the lyric. But yeah, and then how if you watched the Break the Silence documentary, the 6th episode, he also talks about this concept of like what's ordinary for us is extraordinary for him, and what's extraordinary for him for us is ordinary for him. And I feel like it's just a very, as the resident old person of this podcast, like
I don't know if you can claim that. I think
Yeah,
we're all
Peter-
pretty close in age here.
dude, I'm old, man. I'm in the 70s.
Okay.
Speak for yourself. No.
But
Whoops.
wow, the
No.
millennial striking back.
I'm pretty old.
But you know, just I feel like as I get older, it's all about just how I am as a person. Like, yes, it's important. I find accomplishments important and interesting, but it's ultimately who I am as a person. And then we're always going to get hurt. How are we going to move on from that? So I just find it a very comforting song. And then his vocals, I mean, he's just so soothing, and he's just so. I just want to cry. Oh, feeling it. I'm gonna drink some more. So yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So my hit replay, because I did not get to pick the title track and I did not get to pick Moonlight, I went through all the other songs like, okay, which of these do I really relate to? Which one of these have like a dope beat? And then I ended up on this concluding track, which is soft and sentimental. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm actually feeling this. This is in the spirit of what Stephanie said on Moonlight. It's very self-reflective. And upon looking into the message and lyrics, it's about missing an old friend whom you've grown apart from, and you're exploring the feelings that have come with the reality that you're walking different paths in life. And re-listening to that song with that context, I think, brings a whole new meaning and a whole new look, and it's very refreshing and a bright side to, I think, a lot of the other sounds that we're hearing on this mixtape.
Oh, I think it also features Kim Jong-won from Nell, right?
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
Song? Yeah.
Yeah.
His voice is amazing.
I was like, I know
love
that
Nell.
voice. So
Yeah.
distinctive.
And the song is actually about a friend that he's referenced in multiple songs. I think in First Love and also Spring Day.
Oh, really?
And it's a friend who is in prison, or was in prison, I think for drugs. But that's allegedly what it is.
Allegedly.
And then actually on his live, someone asked him if he's met up with his friends since then. He still has not. So.
Yeah. You definitely get that vibe from the song that he's probably the person they're talking about is probably somebody he doesn't keep in contact with a lot.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Virginia. I did not realize that. So that also changes the meaning yet again for me. So, Michaela, what's your hit replay?
My hit replay, when everybody took the rest of the songs, my hit replay from this mixtape is Interlude Set Me Free. I feel like it's probably one of the tracks on this mixtape that a lot of people don't really listen to. But for me, it just stuck out because, one, it's definitely a genre and vocal style that he's never really done before. Mm-hmm. And I found it really refreshing hearing it within this mixtape. And also it's got like this nice moody vibe that I feel like middle school me would have loved and would have had this song on repeat for like hours and hours and hours. So it really touched me that way. And also I love the soundscape with the bird sounds. It's just it's like I said, it's a whole mood. I love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was he actually wrote it 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks before the release. And
really?
Yeah, and he wasn't going. It was the last song completed. He wasn't going to include it, And then he had sent it to Bump TV, and Bump TV was like, "No, I really dig it." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he included it.
Yeah, because it's true, like you said, it's a different kind of style, different kind of genre. It makes sense why he wouldn't feel completely comfortable with it. But like I said, it's 10 out of 10 for me.
Okay. So I guess moving on to our debak or not for Augusti's D-2. I guess.
Yes.
That's what
And
we're
then
gonna
the
do.
musical thing segue happens.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hey, Michaela, just really quick before we start talking more, can you just say something that sounded like you were breaking up a little bit?
Hello? Can
Okay,
hear
you
me?
sound fine. I don't know
Woo!
what happened earlier. Okay, cool. So this album, it came out. This mixtape, it came
Mixtape.
out 4 years. Mixtape, 4 years after the last one, and I think about when the last one came out, and I can't believe that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because I loved that last mixtape, and I remember playing it and talking about it on FM radio when it first came out.
Oh, right. Huh?
Yeah. I'm surprised that I guess maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but this is an album that Big Hit is giving away for free.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's available on
Yeah, that's
for
why
one all
it's
the
a
streaming
mixtape.
platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a
Oh.
solo album. It's not a solo release. It's
Okay.
just a mixtape. This is just him being an artist and wanting to release music for himself and also the fans.
I still pay though.
Right.
That's like just take my money. If you can't take my body, take my money.
Wow.
Wow. Now chalk it up to my K-pop cynicism. I just thought mixtape is one of those interchangeable words they just slap on
Yeah.
short albums.
Yeah. That is the one
maybe.
characteristic about BTS is when it comes to the rap line, how they try to present themselves as authentic artists is their solo work is mixtapes. It's just free music that they've produced themselves and kind of have complete creative control of, that they just release because they're artists.
Yeah.
They have to pay for it too. I didn't realize that. I thought Big Hit
Yeah.
pay for it, but
Wait,
they have
what?
to pay for they have to pay for the videos on the albums. That's why
Wait,
Big
what?
Hit. Yeah,
that's
that's why the big.
not fair.
What's
No,
the point of that?
That's
I
why
mean,
Big.
they got the BTS money now though.
Right, but that's why Big
Eh.
Hit's like intro thing is not on any of the mixtape
Oh.
Mm.
intros. Like J-Hope mentioned it. I didn't know this until someone like commented on my reaction channel. Like they said, like, I guess J-Hope said during the Map of the Soul press conference that he had to pay. They have to pay for it.
Wow.
So they pay for, like, Suga paid for that like really fucking expensive video.
What?
The man's got money. It's okay.
guess
Yeah, but at the
so.
same time, look, yeah, oftentimes the music itself is not all that profitable. It is, however, profitable if you're in big hit territory. Like
Right.
if you're producing like, you know, an album, there's enough scale, enough followers that it is a commercial enterprise to produce an album for money's sake. And traditionally, K-pop labels have relied on other revenue streams and use the album and the music video as the business card for other more lucrative deals and channels. So I was just surprised that, like, I guess Big Hit didn't try to capitalize on it in a formal package. But I guess, as you're saying, Virginia, it's like, well, the idols, the artists themselves chose to do it.
I'm sure Big Hit has its cut. Like, don't feel sorry for Big Hit.
No, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah.
Big Hit's not like, oh, we missed
That's
an
true.
opportunity.
Because as far as like a distribution deal, like you can find this on Spotify, like on all the platforms. So he's probably going through Big Hit for those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're getting a cut.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, darn, we're missing out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. Big company always wins.
Fact of life.
Facts.
It
Anyway,
could be a win-win. It could be a win-win.
I don't know.
yeah.
Downward capitalism.
The timing of this mixtape is also interesting. Suga said that he wanted to release it a year earlier, albeit having that extra year of polish may have made the product better. But I'm wondering, it is 3 years and 9 months after August D. And if you, what is his birth date again? Isn't it
March
like
9th, 93.
there?
Oh my gosh.
I would
So
get it tattooed, except that's weird.
Come on, you know you already have it.
No, I would get a. Oh, I'm not gonna actually say it. It's too not too close. But anyway, so
yeah, well, Virginia,
You're
I want to
saying here.
know, is that a coincidence? What do you think?
I think it's just. Well, he was supposed to release it in September of 2019,
Right.
but then he ended up not. And then I think, well, he mentioned on his live like because of the coronavirus, and then he had time to like work on his music and then fix things. And then,
Okay.
Mhm.
and now it came.
Yeah.
So-
It's probably been ready a little bit, and then yeah, it sounds conscious.
Okay.
He's like, oh, I'll wait until this date. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's right before Festa too, right? Like Festa's happening in like 3 days. or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah. My mom texted me about that. And she's watching right now. Hi, mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi,
Ma-
Stephanie, Mom.
Mom's a bigger army than me and texted me about Festa. You going to this? You heard of
Oh, I love her.
it? Yeah.
There's gonna be like 2 new songs and like 2
Yeah.
new choreos and stuff. It's exciting. Sorry, I'll get
Yeah.
back.
Well, anyway, like, what do we think of the lyrics and the message of this song? I think there's a lot to dissect and take apart here.
I feel like I saw this on comment on Twitter, and I feel like it's very accurate. They asked, how did they fit Sugar's dick in this video?
Oh
And
my
I feel-
gosh.
And I was like, yes, that's exactly how I feel about this video.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel about this song.
Yeah. I don't. So our podcast listeners and live streamers can't see it, but in our outline for this episode, I wrote. You guys can see it. It's sub bullet
Oh,
C.
I just saw that.
Big dick energy.
Mom, stop watching.
Yeah.
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 It's like,
No, it's fine.
well, when I mentioned it to my husband, he was like, "Oh, does he walk around with a wheelbarrow?" I was like, "Maybe."
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lyric in this. And Stephanie, maybe I'm gonna have to defer to your Korean cultural and pronunciation expertise here. But
Yeah.
hyunta, am I saying that right? Do you know what that means, Stephanie?
Junta?
Hyunta.
I
Don't
don't. You should have put
Don't
an explanation.
Oh,
What is
it's
this?
Or at least in the Korean.
It's the it means it used to be. It's now in popular culture. People will say it, but it originated from Japan, and it is the
Oh,
term
right. Hyunta. Hyunta.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
called the wise man's time. It literally refers to
Oh yeah.
post-coital bliss, like after you've nutted and like you have like clarity and you're like, oh, is that all that it was? All right. And so people, they refer to it like in pop culture now as like reality check, but it took a while for it to like morph from like a very inappropriate phrase to something like people say more commonly. So people, they say it on variety shows now, so it's not as, but the actual meaning is so it refers more to like, oh, like kind of the disappointment, like is that all there is?
Oh, coming down
Yeah.
from
Right?
like
Like,
honeymoon.
Yeah, I have the
honeymoon
translation
phase.
of the lyric.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it basically says he's like feeling hyunta, a situation where there's no higher. I had only looked up, now I just want to look down and gently land. So that's
Yeah,
the line that it
that's it.
comes from.
Oh, how poetic.
yeah.
But I was just thinking, along the lines of like this entire song and album is about big dick energy. It's like
BDE.
I am at the top of my game.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to go. Now that I've achieved world domination, it's like, huh, is that it? Like, is that all there is? Huh.
Yeah, now I have to entertain myself, like
I
doing
mean-
donuts in the cutting off people's heads, faking my own death. Like
I
you
feel
have to
like we should
entertain.
verify for science, like
Yeah. I
we
mean,
know Kim
Mhm.
Namjoon, we know Kim Seokjin, and we know
Oh yeah.
Park Jae-min are on the BD line. We have to verify for science if Sugar's also on the BD line.
uh,
I'm just saying.
For
I'm just saying,
science.
for
yeah.
science.
I mean, this really is valid because we're talking about like if you talk about the main theme of the mixtape, August D-2 is
This is valid.
is basically covering basically his life in his late 20s. So like
hot in
August
here.
1. Do we need a moment? Should I stop?
No, keep it going. Keep it going. We'll catch up.
Okay. So August 1 was basically the time period of his teens and his early 20s, kind of talking about his thoughts and his feelings at that time. But this mixtape is all about him now, like the present Suga, like him in his late 20s, almost 30s. Like he's really kind of in this new era of his life. And, you know, with that kind of energy.
Well, I mean, again, he's achieved everything, right? And I think this is him looking back. So if we think about what I loved about the original August D mixtape is that he was trying to show, like, I'm not this cute Aegyo boy in a boy group. You know, I'm legit. I'm serious.
I'm gonna tie you up and flip you off.
Yeah, and I'm slaying with some lyrical fire in the original August D mixtape. I love that. Like he had to show something for it, and now like he doesn't have to show anyone. It's like
But
I'm
he
already.
He should show us things.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Maybe just
Specifics. Yeah.
Yeah.
And only
Okay.
Virginia. Give Virginia special attention. But
Yeah.
Well,
Backstage.
I can share. I can share.
okay.
Oh wow,
Oh.
how generous.
I'm a generous person.
Wow.
Okay. But like I think this is like probably like a bookmark for him. Like yes, maybe
definitely.
a year ago he had already achieved world domination status, being BTS what it is in the music industry. So I think what's next is like now where does he go from here? Like
He
what?
needs to get married. He needs to get married with
Yeah.
Go
a
to the
woman
military.
in her 40s, 4
Military.
children. oh, that's what you mean? Oh,
That's clearly what I was deciphering from the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
But my only hope is that for him moving forward, that he starts to talk less about himself and more about, especially from his unique point of view, more subversive elements about the industry at large
Ooh.
that is teased in this song, or that we get
Yeah?
at in the meaning of this song.
Well, he
Oh,
did
how
say-
so?
Oh,
Go ahead, Virginia.
No, yeah.
Oh, well, he did say in his V Live, his behind the scenes of like how both D-2 and What Do You Think? He said he laid traps. He said he laid
Oh,
traps,
right, yeah.
and even though the industry knows that that's what he does, they still stepped into it like cockroaches. I mean, he literally said cockroaches, and I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. That's awesome.
Wow.
You know, like,
Ooh.
and you know, like, because he never names names.
Yeah.
Right? And yet people are all over Twitter, like being pressed, you know, that said, well, so he's clearly talking about so and so. And he's like, yo, I don't need names. Like, if you see yourself in this lyrics, that's not my problem.
You mad? Triggered?
Right? Like,
Mm.
you know, and I'm like, oh, to have even like a percentage of the unbotheredness.
Yeah, just
Right.
DGAF. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and this is what got me into BTS, actually, really to begin
Oh.
with. It's just that, again, a subversive message in lyrics, anti-establishment to some degree.
Yeah.
And that this song epitomizes a lot of those elements and themes. So we see two sides of Suga, right? In this music video, we see him as a king, and then we also see him as a slave, and how they cross paths. And I don't want to steal someone else's talking points. If someone else here on the staff or the outline wanted to talk about that. No?
I mean, I'll defer to people. I don't want to keep talking.
Sorry, you cut off. What would you say again? Sorry, Peter.
Did you? Okay, I don't know if someone else was writing this, but I was just talking about the central.
These lines.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah. So
go ahead, Michaela.
no, go ahead, Virginia.
No, really. I've talked a lot. It's okay.
Oh wait, just like you wanted to cover the key points of the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so what I have, like the two key points, at least the ones that I got from the DK explained of this song, we're talking about two verses in, or two lines from the first verse. So the translation of it is origins of a sorry from origins of a slave to become a king, a tiger that has gone crazy, Kwang Hee Flo. So that's specifically talking about a historical figure from like the Joseon era of Korea. So he was basically this mad king who was probably suffering from some kind of mental disorder or post-traumatic stress from all of the wars that he fought in. He was originally elected by the people, like he won the hearts of the people, but then because he went psychotic and crazy and started killing people with no cause, there was a coup against him, and they ended up dethrowing him. So it's this idea of applying that concept to himself of like, yeah, I'm the king, I'm at the top, but I'm recognizing that I'm not going to become complacent like that guy. I'm not going to allow myself to not see the pain or the negative things that I'm doing. And so that's why you see him portrayed as that, like what that would look like for him is that blonde king character who is crazy and murdering people and like cutting off their heads. And he challenges it by being the slave sugar, the sugar with the black hair and the modern look.
Interesting. I mean, I saw the kingdom more as like the establishment, the traditional record labels, and then you've got this like wee band of Suga and a few other familiar faces behind him rolling up. And they're at the bottom of the food chain. And that reminds me of a certain label in 2013 rising from the bottom. And now they're here. They're at the top.
Drake reference.
Yeah. And they're modern, right? As we've seen the in the visuals of the music video, you've got the old school, what is it, like the historical drama set?
Yeah,
the
Joseon era set.
Yeah, and that's like the establishment of the K-pop or even the music industry at large. And you've got the modern, the new, and they're not like, decked out. They don't have gold chains or anything. They don't have like the high-end clothing or whatever it is. No, these are guys who are coming in. They're modern, but they're slaves. They're coming at it, and when they're accused of challenging the system, just like what would you? I don't know what the act is called in Korean historical context, but the beheading of someone who, I guess, holds a coup. You cut their heads off, and we see that in a few different parts of in the music video. But instead of having his head cut off, it's like, you know what? No, you music industry, you're not the king. I'm the king. Yeah. And that's where you see in the bridge of the song, and where you've got the head rocking, and it's not just Suga, but all the other people who are also supposed to be subservient to the king. That are also joining in the head rocking. It's like, okay, who really has the power here? It's not you, old school establishment industry players. It's us, the new school, like rolling in our like ghetto car, doing donuts.
Well, it wasn't a ghetto car when it first came out, right? It was a top line car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the time.
At the time.
I see.
Yeah, but I do agree with that interpretation because it's not only like when you talked about him rolling up with his crew, there's a specific thing that people like to point out, that there's like 6 guys, so that they represent the other BTS members,
right?
Like joining him in this revolt against the establishment. Yeah.
And then there's a woman, right? There's the woman who holds the gold keychain, and they're saying that that person represents Army. And I would just like to take this moment to point out how hot Suga looks when he's putting on the freaking AP.
Yes.
Watch. Oh my god! Like, please, I've never wanted a video watched so badly in my life.
Okay, so how is he hot? Like,
Oh my God.
what elements? Like, take us down that road, Virginia.
How much time do y'all have?
Like,
Oh my
why? How? In what way?
So I don't know if people know, but Suga's my bias. Like he's my.
Oh no, I couldn't tell.
No, you couldn't. I mean, it's not that I'm not OT7, because let's just be real. You can ride a train through me. That's fine. But but like, look, you guys told me I could drink, and that is the consequence of drinking.
It's true.
There are real consequences.
Yes, take us along.
Oh, if only Sugar could take me along. But yeah, like he's so he actually said in his behind the scenes interview that like the king is supposed to represent the old Augustine, and the only reason why the black haired Sugar is Augustine is the new Augustine, and he actually originally wanted them both to be blonde. But then he likes contrast. So everyone's like assigning all these like really deep meanings of like why there's a scar. And he's like, no, I just think scars are cool. I think it's like an aesthetic.
I heard he likes the movie Scarface.
Right. And it's like, what? That's cool. That's an aesthetic. And he apparently like Lumens, they've originally the company that films all their music videos originally was a very like minimalistic set. And he's like, yo, no. Like I've got 7 swords, and I've researched them, and I would like a fucking sword scene.
Yes,
he
did research. Like he's never done sword fighting before, but he like went on, like little nerdy Sugar went online and searched for like 7 different types of sword fighting. Trained on his like that. I love that diligent nerd spirit.
I want to touch his sword. Like oh my God.
Although apparently, like his energy, the sword was too heavy. So, like because he had a official like craftsman, like a sword crafter make his sword, but it was too heavy for him to use, so they had to replace it with like a lighter thing.
Yeah, they replaced it with aluminum.
Oh no.
And he's like, he was complaining. I got blisters.
He was like all in on just like throwing the sword around.
Yeah, and you know what I'm so bitter about? They better release this. They better release like a fucking like behind the scenes kind of shit where like he said they had a longer version of the sword fight of him doing the sword dance. They have a longer version.
It's very quick in the music video, only a few.
Yeah, I want a whole video of that. Yeah.
I just, dear Jesus, please. And then apparently there was choreo for the song, but they cut it.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, fuck you, motherfuckers! Release it, you cowards! Like, give me that goddamn like sword, and give me that. And like, oh, and it's
man,
I cannot word. You know, like I cannot speak words, and like so like I can't break down how hot he is. He's just, I mean, do you have eyes? That's why he's hot. I'm like,
for this is the podcast, so
like,
listen.
My God, like when he does that like sword touching thing.
Yeah, when he touches the sword.
Like,
yep.
Do I want to be the sword? Do I want to be impaled by the sword? I mean, I don't know. Like, there's just so many conflicting feelings. And then like when he first starts off in the video, when he just does that ditchy-ta, and then like he like runs his fingers through his hair, and his hair is like all black, and like runs his fingers, and he has like the snarl. And I'm like, this is
I love it.
like that. Like I can't even speak. It's just like, stop. Give me a moment. I need to.
That's what we pay for here.
Well, you know, like I mean, that's really the whole video right there. It's like, why? How is this legal? How is this legal? How is this allowed on YouTube? Like I don't understand. Like,
right. No, I went in. I manually approved. Yes.
Oh, we can thank Stephanie for that. Okay.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. That's all me.
Okay.
Bless you, Stephanie. Bless you.
Take all the credit for that.
My pleasure.
Just
before we wrap up, is there anything else from the visuals that we want to talk about?
I just want to acknowledge the Bang PD Jungkook illustration.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how he put that in there, a little Easter egg.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of research. My Mandarin is awful. I can't read characters at all. But I was able to kind of figure out that the character underneath it is the character for, it's like a calligraphy for the character for dance.
Yes.
Oh,
I like
It's
Tiao Wu.
It's like, I think it's like
Tiao Wu,
it's
the Wu.
woo
Wu, yeah.
woo.
Virginia's expression is my wife's expression whenever I try saying
Oh, no.
Chinese with improper
I tried.
tones.
I studied tones for like
Oh.
3 minutes.
Well, I did say like when I was reacting to the video, I was like, this is like everything that I've ever wanted. It's like sugar as like Legolas and like Wuxia. And even though I know it's like Korean, but
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like there's a lot of like overlap in some of the culture.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I never knew I wanted it until I got it. And then I was like,
Mm.
praise the Lord Jesus that I live in this timeline.
Yeah.
I'm curious. No, you said that there's a Chinese version of the title of
Well,
Deshita,
It's
but
not
does
that-
it mean the same thing? Or
yeah, it means it's 大吹打, which means
Yeah.
a big blow.
Oh, okay,
And so that's what it literally means in Korean.
okay.
But it actually
Okay.
refers, I don't know if we
Like a
discussed this.
special ceremonial music
Yeah,
performance
it's military
for a
music.
procession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's what it means in Chinese, but
Okay,
in
okay.
Chinese it means like a big blow, like
Just a
fatal
big blow. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
in Korean it means that, but it also refers
It has these
to-
layers and
It refers to like military music that they would play when
Yeah.
a king is procession is procession.
yeah, the king has arrived.
Yeah,
Right,
'cause
and then the army too, right?
Yeah.
because the chui in De Chui Ta, it translates to blow. So like it's
Yeah.
like the air instruments, and then the ta is like hit. So it's like the
Ta.
the drums, the gong. So those are the key elements of what sound you hear when you hear De Chui Ta.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then he sampled it from like the archive.
Like
Yeah.
an actual, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a trend on Twitter, was the national
Yes.
Kugak Center
Kugak.
video.
Yeah.
For the record, yes, they released it years ago as like an actual
2016.
informational video about what De Tsuita was,
Yeah.
and they changed the title for people like us who are trying to learn more about what that actually is.
Right.
So definitely go check out that video if you want like a very more detailed description. Of
You said
what-
that they went back and they put like
They-
August D
yeah,
Sugar
August
in
D
the title of
explained.
their article.
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah, their SEO
Well, they-
game is on point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They know why people are coming to that page.
Yeah.
They should though. And then like he said in his behind that he actually created the beat at the same time as UGG. And
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
And,
because of that
they-
trap sound.
yeah, and
it's there.
and the traditional kind of feel, and then
Mhm.
and so he really likes that mix of traditional Korean
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
with the
And
trap
that's-
beat.
that's-
I mean, of
what I
course he
love about
would.
K-pop.
Suga has liked Haguk dramas since being a kid.
Yes.
Suga clearly sees himself in the tradition of the historical like poets and scholars,
Yeah.
and like he clearly sees himself like that.
Ultimate
Yeah.
flex.
And if you
Following it. Yeah.
if you look at Mewish's translation of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lyrics, she discusses how there's this one poet named, I forget his name. Sangut?
Sakat?
Sakat.
Sakat.
Yeah.
Sakat.
Yeah, and like he's just like really subversive, and like he has these like lyrics that or not lyrics, but he was a poet.
His poems, yeah.
And his poem was like, because I can read the hanja, the Chinese,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
right? So
right.
it's saying like, if you learn it yourself, like if you read it using only like the hanja, it
Mhm.
says something like if you learn it yourself, or like I can't remember because I'm
Yeah, I think it's if you learn by yourself, you'll be slow. But if someone helps you, you'll be fast.
right. But in
Mm.
Korean, if you don't look at the actual word, like
Uh-oh.
you don't look at the hanja,
Here
it
we
says
go.
something like, you could rub your there's the like
If
wonderful
it's
thing- if you rub your penis, if you rub a vagina, it's awesome, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like something
Yeah.
like really like awesome.
Yeah,
And then
Virginia.
like-
I copied in the traditional Chinese characters at the bottom of the outline. If that helps you,
Oh, you did?
if you scroll down under sources.
Oh,
What do you-
okay. It said 自知 means like you yourself, and then I guess the Korean is myeon, and I don't know what that means. And then 婉知 is like rape, like 转知 is like Look at me trying to pretend I know what it means.
Yeah.
And then 早知 means literally to know. But yeah, it's like it's just so awesome. And I'm like,
It's so Suga. Like Suga is the reincarnation of that dude.
it is. And
Yeah.
then like what do you think was supposed to be like even more foul? Like he said it was like he said you would have been shocked to know what his original lyrics were. And I was like, release those original lyrics power. Like, oh my god. And
Send
then
it, leak it.
right? And like A&R was like, yeah, that's cool. And the Bumpy is like, yeah, release it. I don't fucking care. We own like we have so much fucking money, it doesn't matter. And then
we have yet to actually experience true Suga. We're still, even though this is still him while he's the king, while he's at the top, we're still getting a little bit of the censorship in.
Right.
So I feel like the next thing is like just gonna be the utmost pure.
I guess. I think they're gonna keep dangling it. Like
No.
this is K-pop.
You can dangle anything you want, but no, but even like in respect, when they were talking about like the song, the sub-unit
Respect from the last album.
Yeah, like RM said, like the original version that Suga like sent in was like full of curse words, and they said it was like fucking hilarious, and they're like kind of bummed it didn't pass. Because like BTS has progressively sworn a lot less as they've gone on, right? But like, oh my god, like.
This is the point of the mixtape, right? Like this is the point of you paying for everything.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever the hell you want.
I would pay for him to wreck me. I mean, like I would.
Woo! Hashtag free Suga. Free Suga.
It's just so obvious that he's my bias.
Yeah, I love it.
But this, as you guys were saying, like with the instruments and the concepts, it's the old with the new.
Yeah.
And it goes so well together. And
the contrast.
Actually, if I can provide an analogy, have you guys seen the musical Jesus Christ Superstar? Any of the movies?
I haven't seen it. But
anyway, they try to what is it, like early 70s, late 60s?
Yeah.
They go to these historical sites and then they use tanks, modern flight jets, to show like, oh my gosh, this is the power of the military, the Roman military at that time, to get the audience, the viewers, to understand like, okay, what does that actually mean to today's audience, so that they can better relate to the significance of what that might have meant. And I think we see that with the new swag coming with the modern elements seen in this music video.
But is it new though? It's not new. We all knew, obviously.
Modern air quote. But also with the music itself, you've got the trap beats.
Of course.
And again, the sampling of the D-2. So D-2. There we go. Thank you guys.
Not Twitter.
Not ride the pig. Yeah. No, I love that. It reminds me of, I mean, there's a few songs that do this, but remember that awards show where they performed Idol with all the traditional costumes and the instruments and the dance Melon Music Award, the MMAs a couple of years back, or was it last year? I don't know.
It was 2 years ago.
I was like, this is the height. This is what BTS is meant to do, is to introduce to the world like what's so great about their country and combine it with hip hop.
I
think we talked about that in our year wrap up, and we loved the contrast of like them showing like all of this true culture, and then Idol before it had done all that cultural appropriation.
I mean, having African like musical elements, African choreo, Nigerian suits, and then like when they really had the chance to show out on stage, they did those same costumes.
I meant G Idol, not the song Idol.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I was like,
because G Idol, like the Korean is just Idol. Like it's not. Sorry, that was my bad.
Well, you should have pronounced it that way.
Sorry. That's what I meant. When G Idol, before they performed, they got a lot of hate for the fact that they were really culturally appropriating in a way that was insensitive.
Oh,
and
really?
then BTS ends that show with like the most Korean display that they
Super
could have
Korean.
given.
Korean
Mhm.
And you
number
know
one.
what I love about BTS? I mean, I know we're digressing now, but like because they are so unapologetically Korean.
Ah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You took my words. But go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. But like I have actually learned more about my Chinese culture through interpreting their Korean culture
Mm.
Ooh.
than I have in a long time. Like because a lot of
Suga is pleased.
I mean, I would like to please Sugar. And my husband's like rolling and she's just like, why do you say these things? And I'm like, like we had an argument and he's like, I was like, don't be jealous that I love Sugar more than I love you. And I've been with my husband for like 18, 19 years, like a really long time, like half my life. But whatever. 4 children, what does that mean? I'll throw it all away. I
One
mean,
shot, yep.
would Sugar actually want to be with a person who would throw her life away for him? I don't know, but I would if he would be willing. I'm just saying,
It's just one way to find out. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like, anyway, I gotta shoot my shot. But like,
Yep.
like I just feel like it's just so awesome. Like people are telling them like you're selling out. You're like you're trying to cater to the Western crowd. They're like, oh, well then we'll release Sting, right?
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
Yes.
and they're like, oh, okay, well we'll have Idol, like the Idol teaser. Like
Yeah.
release that version, you fucking cowards! Release that
Mm.
version, and then like, it's just so amazing. I feel, especially as an Asian American,
Yeah.
like I cannot tell you how many times I've been Ching Chang Chong as a kid, as an adult
Mm-mm.
with children, like
Ugh.
and the fact that like that my children think that my children can witness BTS at the top of their game, and that they can see Asian men. I have 3 boys. I have 3 Asian boys.
Oh wow.
I have 3, multi-ethnic Asian boys and 1 girl. And the fact that they see BTS just kicking fucking ass,
Mm-hmm.
being Korean, not even like trying to cater to like
Right.
white.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right?
Top of the world.
And my kids can see that, and they're like, oh, like because when I was growing up, like who did we have? We had no one,
Mhm.
No, not like that. No.
Maybe Dustin Lin, because he was really fine at 21 Street. But like, he's an awesome guy, by the way, as my friend was, and I got to interview him. But like, like we don't. It's not the predominant narrative, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Peter has experiences, but like,
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. But going back to unapologetically Korean,
Yeah.
that's what I love about this. And
Yeah.
Idol and Dang, as you said. Also, what is it? One is Lit. Their song that was also very unapologetically Korean. And like so many groups that we know before them try to conform to the Western model that would try to be like betray what made them famous to begin with.
Mhm.
And then try to then become famous in the West. It's like, no, do your thing. Do what makes you you. And I just wish more K-pop acts were this brave to be themselves and to just be like, yo, when I grew up, this song was lit. Like Come Back Home or whatever it may be. Like these old things that are part of my background and my culture. Celebrate that, man. Like make that a part of your music. Make that a part of your artistry. And we see that, I think, again, Suga is not only does he point to it, but he's like, yes, and I am the next evolution. Like I am the next historical benchmark footnote in the history of mankind. But
because it helps that he's doing it very well. Like I
right.
You said in the links the reaction of these Korean rappers reacting to it, and one of their mentions was it is hard sometimes to integrate these traditional elements without it sounding forced or sounding really corny and not delivering on the actual like impact of the song, because to a Korean person it's like it's just traditional elements. Maybe they don't really care about it as much as people think. Or
I mean, at the same,
it's just their history. Like what's important about it. But when we hear it in music, especially when it comes to Korean hip hop, because I love hearing them incorporating traditional elements in Korean hip hop, because it's really what makes that version of hip hop their own, and not just something that they've
No, it's carrying on their poetic tradition.
Right.
yeah.
And-
Is it the Lit TV reaction video you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll include
Oh, I
links
should watch that.
for all you
It's good.
listeners
They're
and
so
stuff.
great. I
Yeah,
love
we'll provide links to all these sources in the episode description, so be sure to check that out. At the same time, I'm not trying to like what do you call it, like orientalize or like exotify these elements. Like that's something I'm also trying to be very conscious of. Like, oh, just because it's exotic and foreign. Like,
right.
Yeah, so
it's not that, it's something that's uniquely Korean and truly Korean, and something that comes from their culture and their history and their people.
Yeah, no, I think that just like I said in the beginning, K-pop doesn't happen in a vacuum, and with so many powers that be pushing them towards, I'll say, like whiteness,
Yes,
like, pushing them to like bow down to that, like it is subversive and powerful to connect and showcase more traditional elements from Korea. I connect to that. Yeah.
And then like a friend and I have discussed this, like the movement to like divest BTS from K-pop is, I mean, I understand why people do that, and I apologize ahead of time if this is like controversial for you guys, but it is when they try to divest BTS from K-pop, it is trying to what I can't remember at the moment because I've had a lot of vodka, but
you like whitewash? Or?
Yes, it is. It's a way for Westerners to appropriate the Koreanness, right? You know, it's a way to make them like model minorities. It's a way to make them an exception to the rule. Like I understand. Again, I'm not saying I don't understand the like mindset behind like, oh, okay, they're global, so it's not just Korean pop, but you know, like to divest them from K-pop, to divest them from, to like cut them off from Korea, is a way to like say like, no, they are the exception.
Yeah,
they're not. This is like Korean music isn't like
Korean pop is down there, and
right, and like they've elevated it, you know, and when really it's like, God. You know what I mean? And like I
like cuisine, like elevated cuisine.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, you made fun of us for like our food. You said it smelled funny, it tasted bad, like it tasted weird, like, oh, we eat weird things. You ching chonged our language, and now you're like all about that Korean life. You're all about that, like, you know, like fuck.
Ooh.
Fuck you all. You know, like, and you know, or like people who say like, I don't normally find Asian men attractive.
Oh God.
You know what? Like, fuck you all.
Yeah.
And I don't apologize for saying that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, examine why that is a problematic thing.
Yeah.
Like BTS is attractive, they're hot, but they're not the exception, right? Like, like Asian men were hot before them. The Asian men are hot in the time of BTS, and when BTS passes, inevitably, Asian men will be hot.
Yes.
Like that's all I have.
Woo!
I think that's a nice mic drop. Is there anything else we want to cover before we give our final scores?
I just want to ask all the listeners: were you expecting to like, you know,
just go in?
Yeah, because you're welcome.
Yes.
I guess I just want to say, before final scores, Michaela, on the music. Like this, my favorite song off the mixtape for sure. This song is like lit 9000. It's right up there with Fire, Idol, peak hour banger songs, Mic Drop, Aoki remix as well. So yeah, it is such a loud song. However, for as loud as it is, it makes you lean in on the bridge. On the bridge of the song, you actually hear the volume of the instrumental downslope. It goes down. They actually turn down the volume, and then Suga himself actually starts whispering, and it forces you to kind of like lean in. It's like, oh, what was that? And like you kind of have to like lean into the music to really pay attention. And then he starts rising in volume, and then it's like final chorus, and like that's a powerful like speech giving effect. It's a powerful effect in captivating attention. It's dynamic. So that's just like a little nugget. I just wanted to make sure all you listeners out there were able to appreciate.
Did it remind you of RM's verse in Dang?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The flow
Now that you say
and,
that,
and the stuttering, and I'm like,
wow.
you know what? Fuck me with that verse.
we need a remix now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I did start taking apart different parts of the song just so I could make mashups and remixes of it. So
Stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Final
Any other
score.
last thing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Like, because because before we wrap it up, it's been a while. Just anything else that we want to talk about? Visuals, audio, message.
I mean, he's fine. He's just a fine man. And
I'm not sure we discussed that enough on this episode.
I really feel like people don't understand just how fine of a human being he is. Like, just
Yeah.
like,
So
my God.
It's funny. Actually, earlier today, I was a small little flex. I had an interview with SF Chronicle talking about K-pop.
Nice.
Get it? PR professional.
We were talking about biased members of BTS, and I said like, it used to be that I was really into Rapmon or RM.
Oh yeah. He's a fine man.
Well, I mean, like, I think I was
Swag.
just naturally as the English translator of the group, I'm hearing from him the most, and I'm understanding, the Einstein of our age, the critical thinking and the artistry and the layers of storytelling and meaning that he's trying to put behind the music. But increasingly, it's Suga is what I said in that interview, and this is like case in point for that. I think there's a lot to come from Suga.
I mean, come is the right word.
Oh boy. There it is. Okay.
Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Yes, yeah. Let's really move along.
It's about that time, y'all.
All right. I mean, leave it to me to always ruin the vibe.
No, you just like elevate. Take us there. All right. Like I said, it's about that time, y'all. Time to give our final scores.
Ooh.
We discussed the concept, the visual, the audio, and much, much more. But is August D's Dechita Debak or not?
Peter.
Yeah, it's Daebak. It's better than On, Black Swan, everything from BTS's
Excuse
last
me?
album. This
Oh shit.
is, yeah, it's that
You
good.
wait until now to say that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie.
Okay, definitely Daebak, but we're gonna have to talk about Black Swan.
Okay, and it's Daylock for me as well, and Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, any question?
Yeah,
Shocked.
it's not
Shocked.
really a
I'm
question.
really, really waiting on Virginia's score. I just don't know.
Everyone's confused.
Is this a BTS
He's
podcast?
giving so many like mixed messages on this one.
Sorry, I'm a tease.
I'm not sure how she feels about Suga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I don't think she finds him attractive.
No, not at all.
All right. You can
All right,
always find
so
us
We have some.
on Twitter. Oh yeah, listener feedback. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead,
Oh no,
Stephanie.
we can do this. Yeah, let's just do it as it is assigned on the script.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can always chat with us on Twitter at the Kpopcast.
Or shoot us an email with your constructive feedback and episode ideas on our Gmail account, kpopcastshow@gmail.com.
We reached out to our followers on Twitter and asked what they thought of the
We're evidently very funny to Virginia in our banter. While Virginia's covering, I'll also give a plug for a Slack. You can also get in touch with us there. Let us know your thoughts on episode ideas and whatnot. Who should read this?
Michaela, you there?
Yeah, so at Pessimistic Oz reached out to us on Twitter and they said, "Daebak! It's been almost 4 years since August D, and I think D2 shows how much he's matured as an artist and a person, as well as glimpses of his personal thoughts with the BTS fame. He got chances to reveal himself more than if it were not, or sorry, he got chances to reveal himself more than if it were another BTS album, and it's refreshing."
Indeed, it was.
Couldn't
Okay.
agree more.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So let our listeners know where they can find each of you on Twitter. Virginia.
I'm the Mandarin Mama on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm S Parker 2.
I'm at DJ Peter Lowe. And Michaela.
And I'm at Michaela J. Kpop.
And you can always connect with all of us more intimately on our official Slack channel, and you can find the link in the description of this episode.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share all over the interwebs.
How many years do you guys think it'll be until the next mixtape from Suga?
5. I feel like it's going to be like 5 or 12.
5 or 12? No, don't say.
39 years. No.
It's like exponential increase.
Well, he said, like, he said in that interview, like, he doesn't know whether it's like 5 to 10 years. Like, it's just when he has enough to say. Like,
But that's good. Like, as an artist, you need to, like, live life.
Yeah, you don't need to be on a schedule.
Yeah,
like, look, Suga, if you need to experience life, if you need to experience love, if you need to experience, like, being a husband and having, like, fathering children,
Yeah.
Or a menage a trois.
Available.
I'm available. My husband has agreed. He's fine with it.
Has he?
Man.
Can
Yeah,
we
he
get
has.
his input right?
He
Oh,
he
okay.
has. I made sure that it wasn't a joke. I made sure he understood that if anyone from BTS called,
Oh, anyone.
anyone, and but in particular, Suga, but like,
Yeah.
I'm OT7 all the way, like, so like, yeah. And he agreed, and I was like, you're only agreeing because you think it won't happen, but when it does, I want you to know that it will happen.
Oh boy.
How much vodka led to this agreement?
No. This was a completely sober agreement. And he's like, you know what? I don't fucking care if you father a child. If they father a child with you, I will raise this child. I will be their father.
Whoa.
But they just have to pay for the other children. And I was like,
okay.
I respect that. But I'm just telling you, it's not a hypothetical situation.
Got it.
Mhm.
And he was
Shoot
cool
your
with that.
shot.
This better not hinder me from getting an actual interview with him in person. But
No.
But I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting
It's
it
not
out
like
there
this
in the
is a live
universe.
stream
Right.
where everybody can see.
I mean, look, we can blame it on the alcohol. It's really
This is just how you are. I
That's
love it.
just how I am. I'm just a thirsty hoe. It's fine because you know what? People should be compensated for their work. And
Yep.
that's all I have to say about that. I'll just be quiet now.
Okay, well, that was it. Do we have any
Hey.
live stream people here? Let's see.
No.
No.
They're all like frightened away, like, who's this bitch?
I've seen us like have watchers circle in and out. So
It was crazy.
well, apparently there's some watchers right now. So hey, any of you
Oh.
watchers who are watching
Hi.
right now, do any of you want to say anything? Like, drop in your chat comments now. All 4 of you.
Well, is all 4 of them, all 3 of us, like all 4 of us?
Not me.
No, wait, no,
Okay.
I'm not on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, you all know how to reach us if you don't feel brave or don't want to be talking in front of other people right now. Thanks for coming on. Let me actually record this. Thank you for coming on the show again, Virginia. We'll call you
you're
back
welcome.
next time we talk
Yeah,
about
thank you.
Suga or BTS, I'm sure.
And just for future reference, I am a big fan of anyone who's just like hot and talented. So I am not like, opposed to people like Lay, who apparently is going to be releasing something soon. He's a fine motherfucking man.
Hey.
I'm an equal opportunist. I like to try to promote Asians whenever possible, but like,
How do you feel about Jackson?
Oh my God, do not even.
Jackson.
Like, I'm a little bit annoyed. Okay, real talk here. I'm a little bit annoyed about his tweet about hoping the things will pass soon because let's face it, like, racism has always been here and it's not going to pass soon. Like, let's not like pretend it's just a blip in American history, right? But like,
Yeah, it kind of makes it seem like it's an annoyance to him.
right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, too bad.
Life,
And I get it. You know, he's from Hong Kong. He's from Shanghai. Like, he's not an American, so you can't. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt of not understanding the nuance of the situation. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, but he ain't in no vacuum. Like,
right? Yeah. Like, don't benefit from proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Don't benefit from like.
Do better, Jackson. Listen to us.
And he's fucking fine. So don't make it feel like, oh my God.
Don't throw it away. We're rooting for you.
Yes. To quote Tyra Banks, I was rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you.
I was rooting for you. I saw that episode live, by the way. That's how old I am.
Live? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm fucking old, man. And like, and
you
you know,
were supposed
so
to
like,
bring balance to the force, not destroy. Okay, never mind.
right? Like, so I'm not just calling out Jackson. I just mean in general, like, Asian Americans do better. Okay, like we were only allowed in this country because white people didn't want to pay for free black people.
Yeah.
Okay, we were only brought into this country because white people could not stomach the idea of paying for free black slaves.
Ooh, I just got chills. Like, too much real talk in one episode. I can't.
I'm just saying. And the only reason why we were allowed back after the Chinese Exclusion Act is because white people wanted to bring back their Korean brides from the war.
Yeah.
So don't think for a second that we're here because, you know, we did anything that we were better. We're only here because of, like, the blood and because of what black people laid the foundation for. Okay, so, like, don't.
Woo!
Like, you can't. We do not exist in a vacuum, and you cannot. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, show up or shut up. Like, do not fucking come and talk to me about how about anti-Asian sentiment if you're not here for anti-blackness. Like, it's not, and by that I mean, like, if you're not like talking about anti-black, because it is not. It is all linked. Don't think that you can benefit from white proximity. It's not okay. And I would say this so good, you know, and I am mostly so good. Like, it's not okay. Like, that's all I have. But, anyway.
Heart you.
Yeah. Well, I think we should try to include that at the end of the episode
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
Are you guys? I'm gonna stop recording and stop broadcasting
recording.
now. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Right?
Or catching the replay.
Yeah.